Hi, we appreciate the opportunity to present to the CTN video feed today. We would like to present some insights we have gleaned from our work in deploying 5G Edge for small to medium-sized businesses. We believe that 5G Edge deployment in such environments is currently impractical due to a lack of suitable low-cost solutions that are effectively integrated into the Edge in a way that seamlessly supports the customer's needs. In what follows in this video, we describe this problem in some detail and show how we attacked it for the specific use case of small-scale meat production in rural Texas in a way that we believe can scale to many other small and medium-sized businesses. This can be of tremendous value, especially to the US economy, where small businesses are the lifeblood of innovation and employment. The US Chamber of Commerce says small businesses make up 99.9% of all businesses in the USA, and they employ approximately 45.9% of the country's population. And indeed, around the world, SMBs contribute 50 to 7% of the GDP and are more likely to hire people who face challenges in finding employment, such as low skilled or inexperienced workers. So, this is clearly a tremendous opportunity for 5G. It's a tremendous problem that we can solve and contribute to. And we hope that this video gives you some ideas as to how that might be done and how we can make progress in this important area with 5G and Edge. Thank you. Enjoy the video.
Every technological advancement carries the potential for significant cost savings and increased revenue, but also the hurdles and pitfalls associated with adoption. In the case of 5G-enabled edge computing applications, the uptake in the business world has been slow in general and virtually non-existent for small and medium enterprises. That's because 5G Edge is not a fixed thing. Every market segment, every use case requires customization and deployment-specific integration. Each enterprise has a wide variety of 5G connectivity and edge use cases driven by their own business goals. The issue is that incumbent OEMs' approaches, whose solutions require thousands of engineers and need scale to be cost-effective, is just not compatible with these new markets. For SMBs, the minimum price of available edge solutions is out of reach and often much more feature-rich than needed for their use cases.
Cirrus360, with support from the USDA, has developed a flexible 5G Edge onboarding and maintenance platform called Edgeware that allows the customer to directly address their requirements in a non-5G technical manner. This platform then automates the discovery of the 5G requirements and can be used to select or construct the correct 5G platform for this customer's specific needs. Especially in the case of small businesses, an off-the-shelf 5G solution is an expensive overkill, and automation is required to minimize cost and power, as well as delivering a solution that fits into the business's physical space. The one-size-fits-all approach of cellular RAN is a massive problem, and the opportunities in solving it are significant. But it requires a mindset change in the communications community from addressing the needs of big operators to those of small businesses.
Food processing, especially small and medium meat processors, have a special data burden related to following USDA and their state regulations like HACCP to monitor and track their workflow to ensure food safety. In this case, we worked with Rail 19, a small meat processing operation in East Texas. Compliance with USDA food safety regulation requires that even small processors like Rail 19 capture and report thousands of data points.
One of the things we realized by talking to the customer is that they don't have much time to spend on automation. They are very used to doing things in a manual paper and clipboard process, and they have to still come up with a system or a design which is accessible and which can be given to our customers as a service model, which has the software and hardware along with it, which would make their lives easier and help them automate their process.
providing businesses like Rail 19 affordable, secure, reliable, and most importantly, user-friendly technology solutions while following HACCP or the Hazard Analysis Critical Checkpoint principles. Cirrus360 has partnered with Rail 19 as well as Texas A&M Meat Science Department and Intel Corporation to address this set of challenges using Edgeware, our network edge platform. Our use case discovery included discussions and site visits with Rail 19 and Texas A&M to understand in depth the meat processing workflow, record keeping, and other issues. And we followed a similar procedures with other small and medium businesses to really holistically understand what the data collection and processing requirements are. Thanks to our background in wireless and information technology, a system design emerged from bridging our world with that of the small and medium businesses like Rail 19. But how can technologies like cloud, edge, IoT, 5G, 6G, 4G, AI, ML, analytics help small and medium meat processing businesses? Broadly, the challenge is increasing efficiency and reducing what's called the hidden factory effect. The hidden factory effect is where businesses lose efficiency in ways that are not easily visible. And for them also to follow Six Sigma techniques, those are the goals of these businesses. And this is, to begin with, even higher priority than just increasing sales. Current IT solutions, whether it's cloud or edge, 4G, 5G, don't work for this purpose due to cost. So we designed a software architecture which is layered and that is applicable to a broader market, but allows customization by Cirrus360 specific to this market segment. So if you look at this picture, the yellow boxes represent modules that are common across all market segments in this layered architecture that you're seeing. The blue boxes are specific to small and medium processors. And then the green outline boxes are the ones that a meat processor user can customize for their own use. And with this layered architecture, we can eliminate expensive user-specific support. Cirrus360's Edgeware works hand in hand with Cirrus360's Gabriel 5G automation platform. And this is to address the connectivity piece that you see in this figure, marked 5G connectivity, because the connectivity and edge computing platform needs to be very closely aligned to meet the cost and feature targets. Use case requirements were input to Gabriel, and input to Gabriel are declarative. So this allows a user to simply change. The user in this case was Cirrus360 with this kind of an SMB use case targeted. And it allows us to simply change or reconfigure specific parts of a full-featured 5G code base and then optimize that for a specific environment, in this case, the small and medium businesses. And then Gabriel automates the redeployment of the 5G to ensure that these user intents are enforced and optimizes it for the specific use case. And additional or modified deployment constraints can be provided as inputs to Gabriel. And we use, very, very cloud-friendly techniques using YAML formats to do that. And using that, through a file manifest, we are able to really specify to Gabriel how that connectivity needs to be adjusted and adapted to the meat processing, to the small and medium meat processor here. So once we built Edgeware, we validated it both in the lab as well as in the field. In the picture that you see, the left-hand side shows the hardware components that were deployed in the meat processor facility. The endpoints, it was a bunch of sensors like temperature, humidity. There was cameras, there were audio input that we captured and then used natural language processing to populate these kind of digital clipboards, the 5G connectivity, and then the user actually interacts with the system just sitting in their offices. The user here being the SMB, the small, medium business, the business owner, and interacting through a clip keyboard, through a cloud interface. And that's what the picture on the right represents, the business owner's home or office where they access Edgeware through a web portal.
For small businesses, there are no robots running around or VR headsets being used. The goal is to automate the collection of critical data for the hidden factory problem, as we have described. in the cheapest and most robust manner possible. For this reason, the Edgeware platform controls access to the 5G network from the business owner to request placement of the sensors, as we have briefly described. Edgeware is therefore aware of the customer needs and can optimize the RAN solution using Gabriel because it has precise knowledge of the 5G user, in this case sensor, requirements. Edgeware also streamlines the access to data from these sensors in an intuitive manner that mirrors the clipboard record keeping common in many small factories. The delivery of an unintuitive, one-size-fits-all 5G RAN solution that is useless out of the box and requires layers of effort to get to a workable solution for the customer is a broken concept that has delayed the adoption of 5G in the small business environment. But we have shown that a much simpler and cost-efficient answer is possible using cloud automation and intelligent systems. We have also developed Edgeware to allow data collected on the simple and business-specific 5G solution to be analyzed in a flexible manner using applications that we provide, but also can be developed separately and plugged into the Edgeware platform in order to customize Edgeware to the business use case. Fast and intuitive monetization of the data collected by the 5G network is critical to its success in small business use.
Once this thing is set up, that is where the data collection happens. Everything goes into the database, and then the user interacts through what we call these Edgeware apps. And we have a series of Edgeware apps, some of which, you can see on the screen. Some are, very intuitive, simple. You are through a sensor, we are collecting temperature and humidity data, and and there are alerts if it crosses a certain threshold that the business can get. There are more kind of interesting use cases like the sanitation aid, where we use an IR camera and machine learning to figure out whether a surface has been cleaned to meet certain guidelines. There are also, apps for calculation of, certain ingredients. The data collection, the data organization, and the application is something that we have structured to be almost independent of each other so that, these can evolve over time.
So automation becomes tremendously important to compliance. Instead of having users spend time checking a temperature, for instance, physically going into cold storage, checking a temperature, coming back again, which they have to do for compliance a certain number of times a day. Instead, that's done in an automated way by a certified temperature sensor and is then immediately added to the clipboard in the same way that a human being in the past would have done it. So immediately you've saved the time that was spent by that employee checking the temperature sensor, and they're off doing something more productive that allows you to get more product created and have a more profitable company, right? So this is how this platform pays for itself. As many small businesses, especially in manufacturing, operate on a series of specific production flows where material moves from one step to another before heading back to the warehouse or for shipping, we have integrated a simple, intuitive definition of process flow with the location and access to sensor data that relates that data to what the customer cares about. That is, the movement of a job through their factory and the efficient execution of the steps required. This directly addresses the hidden factory issues that add cost to the production process and allows the business owner or manager to see how to improve their production and lower costs to be competitive. Connecting the data in the 5G RAN to its use and the physicality of the sensors in the network is critical to make 5G an attractive proposition to businesses. And this must happen and add value on day one, straight out the box. We're not trying to build a one-size-fits-all for every possible factory in the land, but at the same time, we're not trying to build a specialized platform either. We're trying to build an automated platform that can produce a customer-specific solution to support a certain number of sensors that they have requested and they have paid for, that do a certain set of things that they know they want to do, right? And so by doing that, we can keep costs down, we can keep automation up, and essentially we're hiding all of the tricky aspects of 5G and edge deployment from the customer. The customer just receives the equipment, sets it up, green lights turn on, and they're off to the races. They're using the web portal to see their factory immediately, right, at that point in time. So there's nobody coming out and talking 5G jingoise to them. Ironically, when it comes to 5G and Edge, they don't want to know how the sausage is made, right? They want to know how actual sausage is made. They don't want to know how 5G sausage is made. And we put a lot of effort into trying to help them achieve that goal. Thanks for joining us today. What we have done with our meat processing colleagues is just an example of what is possible when 5G Edge is seen as a holistic part of a larger solution, and when flexibility and domain specificity is addressed through automation to reduce deployment costs. The lesson is that the 5G community needs to focus more on applications and on addressing the needs of the many small businesses in the US and worldwide if 5G is to achieve its full potential. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to learn more, you can reach out to us using the information on the screen. Thank you.